What happens when life hits you blow for blow and the storms seem never ending? Yet, instead of laying down and giving up, letting your storms consume you, you remain steadfast, finding the willpower, the strength you didn't know existed, and the courage to keep pushing forward. That is perseverance. How you respond to your circumstances is key. Welcome to the basics of perseverance. All right. Great rising, great people. Hope your morning started off refreshed with a clear mental. I am a peace of mind, and welcome to the basics of perseverance, where their story may be your story. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest for today, the Queen Ayize Hanif. Did I pronounce it right? I still can't pronounce it right. Hanif. Hanif.
My last name is Hanif, for those who want to know.
Oh, my bad. Hanif.
Yes.
Thank you for taking time out of your... I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I really appreciate you being a part of this segment today. I know you have a busy schedule and you've carved out some time
no problem
for me
anytime.
To do this. So I really thank you. So, Queen, tell me who you are as an individual.
I'm an artist. I'm a creative. I'm a person who's passionate about community, unity, and just the advancement of our people. When I say our people, I'm talking about Black and brown people. I'm a former runway model, former photo model, former West African dancer. I still do a little bit, but not as much. Now I more coordinate and host events. And I'm working on starting my own nonprofit this year. I'm also in the corporate world. I'm an insurance professional, so that's what I do 9 to 5. I have my own business, Waist Beads by Queen Ayize. I make waist beads and all kinds of things. I also sew. So like I'm kind of, I guess, a jack of all trades. I do a lot. I enjoy
all around.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So, life happens. Life happens and things come in serious ways. So when life happens to you and when life breaks you, how do you go about handling that? What is your process through handling when life breaks you?
How I handle things now is a lot different from how I used to handle things. I used to go down the rabbit hole, as my mom would say, and just kind of be like, when one thing goes wrong, I focus on, oh, this is going wrong, this is going wrong, this is going wrong, everything's wrong. But I learned that does not help me. So I have to embrace, like my name means let it flow. So now when life happens, I do allow myself a reaction, but then I go straight into what's the solution? I'm a solution-based person. I like people that focus on solutions instead of problems. So I use my circle of friends. I talk that out to them. I'm close with my family. I have a circle of family members. I have a circle of elders. If I feel like I need to reach out to an elder, I reach out. I also have my own spiritual practices. I meditate. I pray. You kind of need all of that to keep you grounded and centered, because if you're focused on all the wacky stuff, you're way too far over here or you're way too far over here, and you need to kind of stay in the middle, because life is there to challenge you. That's how you learn. Mistakes are there to make you smarter. That's how you get wisdom. If you never F up, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna have to be able to say, hey, don't do that. Or so sometimes I think people who have wisdom, people forget that that's because they made a lot of mistakes. And that's how they know what to do or what not to do. So for me, I try to stay grounded, and I talk to people who hold me accountable, who aren't yes men or yes women, people who gonna tell me about myself if I need to hear it, and there are people who I receive that from. So I think I answered. I don't know.
Yeah, that was well, said. That was well spoken. It is you can't when things go bad or when things happen, you can't be all negative and get frantic and overwhelmed, because then you don't have a clear mind to think clearly, because you're
Mhm.
so frantic and not giving yourself enough time to sit back, analyze the situation, and see how to move forward.
And at
So
the end of the day, God is in control. It's all a part of God's
yes,
plan. So even if it looks like things aren't going your way, it's a reason that it's happening. It may not be,
exactly.
you may not be able to see why right now, or be able to see like, oh, this was actually shifting me to something better. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through a situation right now, like in my apartment, where I have to move, and I could be like tripping about it, but I'm like, you know what? It's a reason this is happening. It's a reason it's happening now. Just
Exactly.
ride the wave. Just go with it, and you'll be less stressed if you do that. Just embrace instead of fight.
Okay. Hey, good answer. So everything is about seasons. Everything has its time. Everything has its season, including people. People are, how can I say, it's no coincidence. First off, it's no coincidence that people walk into your life or you walk into somebody else's life. People have their season. So whether a person is there to teach you a lesson, whether a person is there to use you to teach you a lesson,
Mm-hmm.
what happens
Whether
when
that
that
person
person
is
is
there
there
to
to
mentor
mentor
you,
you
temporarily,
temporarily or for a lifetime. That person is there, that permanent support. They're always going to be there. People have their seasons in your life. Touch on that from your perspective a little bit.
My mom, she always says people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Uh-huh.
And so when people's seasons are over, I try not to fight them and just
Mm-hmm.
let them go if it's their time to go, because everybody's not a lifetime person for you.
Correct.
Some people are only there to teach you a temporary lesson, and then once you get that lesson, they're gone. But I think, especially now in society, people are more they want to hold on to people and things,
Mm-hmm.
and even when they're no longer serving them. And when you do that, you do yourself a disservice, because God, the universe, is moving something out your life is for a reason. And when things
Yes.
are moved out, other things, the doors are open for things to be moved in. And the main thing where I feel like this comes into play is with what I call default friends, which
Mm-hmm.
is like the people that you went to school with, you grew up with, you known them forever. They know your mama, your daddy, they know your brothers, your sisters, y'all got memories. But that
Yeah.
does not mean that they're still your friend, that they're for you. That doesn't mean that they grew with you, because you're not
Correct.
the same person you were then. Now, I have a lot of good friends that I've had for several years, several decades.
Yeah.
But there's also people that I've been friends with for a long time, and then we grew apart, we phased
Mm-hmm.
out. I just recommend that everybody just accept things for what they are and how they are, and don't fight them, even if you don't understand. And sometimes you need time apart from people, and
Yeah.
then time will happen, and then you'll come back to each other, and
Yeah.
you'll realize that they were going through stuff in their life, you were going through stuff in your life, and y'all were just living, and it had nothing to do with your friendship or whatever. So
Yes. It was just
um
personal stuff. Yeah.
I just try to watch the signs. Like I have friends, and then I have associates, and then I have people where we have similar interests. And those are those are all different.
Yeah.
Everybody that likes the same thing that you like is not your friend. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Everybody that has known you or may know your family, that doesn't mean they're still your friend. So I just tell people to just be cautious, and everybody's gonna give you a red flag no matter what. But you
Yeah.
can't be so blind and holding on to it that you ignore the red flags, because when you
Yeah.
ignore red flags, pain follows.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Period.
gotta pay. You gotta pay attention to it. It's interesting you say that, because I interviewed a young lady. I was conducting interviews this entire week, and I interviewed a young lady. And when she described herself, she was like, she's that friend that everybody goes to for everything. She's that friend that's most vulnerable out of all of them. And even though I was supposed to be conducting an interview, I had a moment because I had to. It was just like open. I was like, sweetheart, you gotta reevaluate your circle, because if they do stuff and it constantly hurts you, and you be hopeful, because she's another hopeful, she's one of them hopeful person that she try to find the good in everybody and just hopeful they'll change. I was like, sweetheart, you got to stop being hopeful. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's good to be hopeful, and I think it's good
Mm-hmm.
to find the good in everyone. But once people show you who they are, you have to believe.
Yes.
You can't be
Yeah.
like, oh, they're a good person. Yeah, they're acting like that to that person, but they never do that to me. No,
Yeah.
that's who they
And
are. And it's
and
just a
when they
matter
could
before they do you like
do
that.
it again, and when they do it one time, they apologize, and they see you ain't do no heat, you just, oh, it's okay. They're gonna continue to do it. So if they continue to do it, then they mean no good by you. So yeah,
But
I
an
had to.
apology is not a word, it's action. If the
Yes.
person says sorry, but there's no changed behavior,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that happens that shows you this person is sorry and they understand what the issue is, then
Correct.
it's just words, you know. And you also have to be cautious of people who are there to drain you, drain your energy. Like that
Yes.
young lady, she sounds like a positive person, so of course
Mm-hmm.
everybody comes to her because she comes with a positive mindset. But who does she go to? You know,
Yes.
who can she rely on? You know, you can't let people just come and drain your energy.
Yep,
You
they're
got to protect
leeches.
yourself, and you got to love yourself more than you love other people, other things, and other relationships, so that no matter what, you put yourself first. Like as kids, we were taught that being selfish was has a negative connotation, or it's a bad thing. But as an
Yes.
adult, I've learned like no, it's not. And being selfish will protect you from some things that you don't need to experience just because you have boundaries. You set those boundaries, and when you set boundaries, you'll notice certain people will fall to the wayside
Yes, they will.
because they
Yeah,
can't use you in the way that they used to.
that's
So
true. That's true. So that brings me to this. Listen to the combination of words I put together, think about it, and then give me your response. Friends, trust, honesty, loyalty, deceit, betrayal.
I feel like two of them words don't. The two of these things are not like the others.
Yeah, and you know what? One of my previous guests made that aware, because she was like, if they deceive me, yeah, I'll forgive them. Da 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 da. Then she was like, well, that's not the same as
Yeah, no.
betrayal, deceit. So I was like, okay, well, let me just throw betrayal in this combination, and then you speak
Deception and
upon it.
betrayal to me
Yeah.
should not ever be in the same grouping of friend, confidant, period.
Okay.
Because you can't they oxymorons. You can't be my friend and be deceiving me and betraying me. Like
Mhm.
it can't happen. And especially in Palm Beach, we'd be like, hey friend, hey friend. That's
That
how I
kills me
talk,
with that. Hey,
friend, what you
friend.
doing, friend? But that word, it needs to have more weight to it. We throw
Yeah.
it around, but like who are your really friends? Who really are your friends? And who
I
can you
give
really
like a
make?
look. I give that look. They be like, hey, friend. I be like, what's up? Like, it don't be no horror, but it's like, you're really not my friend. And like you said, it's certain levels to it. You have your friends, you have your associates, you have your bygones type people.
Mhm.
They got to work their way to each level. I feel. You just can't become
Yeah.
a person friend just that easy like that.
No, I do think there should be a progression, like,
Mhm.
because everyone kind of starts out as an associate, and then you
Correct.
might say, "Oh, I like this person. Maybe I'll go hang out with them here." And then each time you spend more time with them, then you see, like, okay, where can they be in their life? Like, my favorite friends are the ones that I can be my full authentic self with, no
Yeah.
matter what. And to me, if you can't be your full authentic self with a person, they're not your friend. Period.
You
You
don't have
shouldn't
to
have
give
to
me.
change anything. You shouldn't be second guessing. Oh, I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have wore this. Maybe I shouldn't have looked like this. Maybe I shouldn't have ate this. Da, da, da. No, you should be able to be yourself and find the tribe that embraces you for who you are. Some people are opportunists. They'll be your friend
Yeah.
because of what they can enjoy with you or what connections you may have, or
Mm-hmm.
just you might just be a person that a lot of people like and they want to be like too. So those are the hardest people to spot because they appear to be on your team, But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they're glow lickers. They're just trying to lick your glow and attach themselves to you like a parasite. You know, they attaching to you and they
Yeah.
sucking from what you got. And then you realize
Yeah.
you're not getting nothing from them. They just want to be seen, or they just want to be around you, or they just want to reap whatever benefits. And
Yeah.
so I just think you just got to take your time and be honest. Honesty is number one. And honesty don't mean that you're being mean or disrespectful. And sometimes you might have to reflect on situations after the fact. But as long as you're speaking your truth and being honest, I don't think you'll have issues like with your friends. And everybody's different. Some people like to hang out with a whole lot of people. I That's not really my scene as far
Yeah.
as like, from time to time I'll do that, but on a day to day basis, my circle is small. My circle is small. So
Yeah. You have to keep it small. I think when you have a small circle, it's less chaos going on, and you don't spread yourself so thin because you're trying to be friends with this person. And you have those people that be in the middle of everybody circle or crowd, and
mhm.
that's that's too much going on right there.
Yeah.
Now, 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 one instance when you was talking about that, you was talking about saying like, should I wear this or this, that, and the third? Should I act like this? So that brings me to this. Dimming your light. You know, I feel like people gonna talk about you regardless whether you're doing good or bad. So oh well, it's nothing wrong with being confident in yourself and knowing who you are as an individual. So have you ever found yourself dimming your light? And if so, could you just give like a little small example and your thoughts upon that?
Girl, yeah. I still kind of do it sometimes now.
Mhm.
It's weird because you should never dim your light. You
Correct.
should never dim your light because that's why people put lights up high. They're supposed to illuminate the whole room.
Mm-hmm.
But not but in my
Yeah.
personal life, I have been an object of admiration, if you will, from being a model,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also seen the negative sides. I have
Yes.
seen the danger in being beautiful,
Okay.
without going like too much into like my life experiences. So
Yes.
I look at being beautiful and super fabulous as both a blessing and a curse. And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes it depends on the space that I'm moving in, how I might tone down a little bit because I might be going there by myself, or I
Yeah.
might not know who's going to be there. And I don't necessarily want everybody watching me. It's weird. And I don't want to sound arrogant or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you know what it's like to be a person that's seen. Everybody doesn't know what that's like, but I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
sometimes if you're going to an event, you might not want like I
the
feel like you have
attention.
to know, yeah, when to stand out and when to blend in, but that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean you dim your light or you change who you are. Um, Also, like as a woman that's beautiful, sometimes I used to feel like if I come out looking cute, then the other women who are there with their husband or whatever, I'm gonna get dirty looks from them, or I'm a people pleaser and a person who likes to be liked. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think some of the whole dimming of the light, it depends on the person. Like if you actually care about what other people think or whatever, because that's really what it is. You dimming yourself
Yeah.
is not about you, it's about other people. It's you trying to put yourself down for other people's comfort. And I've been bullied. I've been had situations where I thought everybody was like supportive of me, and then I realized
Yeah.
later like no, everybody was hating. Like you need to watch it. So
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely had to get myself together with them in the light, because sometimes I'll go to a place a little bit more tomboyish as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
more glam, just because I don't know who's gonna be there. So it's
Yeah.
some of it is a more for protection and survival for me. And that's something
Gotcha.
I'm still working through like right now to this day.
Okay.
Just being unapologetic and shining bright no matter who don't like it, no matter who need to put
Yes.
shades on. Because
That's
at
what
the
I'm
end
talking
of
about.
the day, God bless you with your beauty, with whatever it is that you have that people like,
Yeah.
and you can't allow other people's insecurities, other people's hate and self-loathing to because that's really what it is. And
Yeah,
they're intimidated by you.
yeah.
And so, you know, that's a touchy subject for me because I've been an object of you know, admiration, and everybody
Yes, I know.
you're a model, and you're the featured model for the night, so everybody's supposed to look at you. So you know, you got to make sure you move a certain way, you carry yourself a certain way, you know, you want to be poised and polished if you care about your image. Some people don't care. I care.
Yes,
You know,
I definitely understand. You care about your image. Yeah, I definitely understand. I understand that. And like you say, it's more of the envy or the jealousy. They're gonna have something. Like I said, people are gonna have something to say regardless. And from my perspective, I'm like, if they feel uncomfortable, oh well. It's not you, it's them. They need to deal with themselves and dig deep down and work on themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's just the same with people envy people that have money. Okay, do you know what they put in, the time, the work, the blood, the sweat they put in to get where they are? It didn't come easy to them. People want stuff handed to them overnight. It don't work. You know, I do remember one situation, but I ain't gonna talk about it. It was through a picture, but I thought that was kind of hilarious. So I got
but like with the dimming of the light, like I'll summarize, like I've had a situation where I was out with my friends and I was being watched, you know, by a predator, you know, someone that was preying, and it turned into a bad situation for me. And I never met this person before. I didn't know that they were watching me. Or, you know,
they have been watching you in the beginning. They've been watching you from the beginning to even.
They have been watching me the whole evening. You know what I mean? And like that's the dangerous part. Like even now, like I live alone, but if I want to go out and I got on like a real fitted, you know, sexy dress, when I leave the house, on top of that dress, I got on sweatpants and a t-shirt. When I leave, like just because I might come home late, I'm leaving late. So those are the ways that I protect myself. It's not necessarily in my life, but if I gotta go get gas, I don't need no random person at the gas station trying to holler. Let me just have on my sweatpants and stuff. When I get to the club, then I'll pull that off. But that's me personally.
That's understandable.
I move alone a lot of times. But you just gotta be careful, especially if you're drinking or you know, in a situation where there's other elements involved that might impair your judgment. You just really got to watch out for that, because there are people who watch intentions, you know, and you just got to be smart about that. But that doesn't mean you can't be fabulous, girl. Pull it up and pull it out. Okay.
I agree with you on that. It's crazy you say that, because the person been watching the whole night. I had 2 or 3 times, 2 people that was like on one of my social media platforms. I guess that when I was bartending in the clubs, and I think this particular night I was off of work, and I went back and I was on my media platform checking my inbox. They was like, "Oh, I saw you tonight." I'm like, "You saw who tonight?" They was like, "I saw you tonight." Told me what I had on and everything. I was like, Like, and I couldn't. And when I looked at the person picture, I really didn't know who they were. Like, it's like you chat with them a little bit, and then all of a sudden, so you ain't really paying them no mind in the club. Like you skim in the room or whatever, but they're not an important factor. So, like you said, you have to be careful, be mindful. You know, check your make sure you know your surroundings. You know.
Yes, and even now, like with social media, unless I'm going to support an event for a friend, I don't check in. You know what I mean? I don't be saying where I'm at the time where I'm there, because I had that happen before. Like back when I was modeling, I posted, "I'm going here tonight."
And they pulled up on you.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know you. I'm sorry." Like, and they're like, "Oh, we're Facebook friends." That don't mean nothing. You know what I mean?
We ain't friends like that.
Like, who's trying to be where I'm at? Like, even when I used to go to the gym, checking in at the gym, like, you just got to be smart. I'm not trying to make
you can't be posting your every move on it. I just told my cousin that he on tour.
And that goes for literally and figuratively.
Everything.
You don't post every move. Yeah.
Because you got even though people may not say they watching, but they watching. So don't post everything. You post that junk after you leave. Oh, just had a nice workout, and be done. Don't be like, "Oh, on my way to the gym." Oh, having a smoothie. Oh,
Yep.
yo, limit the places, stagnate your junk, like for real.
Yes, and just like we were talking about before, like you got to stay in the middle. So that's I do that with like being fabulous. Like sometimes I might be super sexy, sex pot, and then sometimes I might be chill, tom girlish, then I might be in the spiritual with a head wrap on. Like I try to give all of it
Mix
and
it
not
up.
just like sometimes when I look at like Megan Thee Stallion, I love her. I love her sex appeal. I love that. But I love that Saweetie has that balance. Sometimes she's tomboy, she got on tennis shoes, t-shirts. Sometimes she's glam glam. But that's all a part of her. And not to down Megan. I love Megan and I love her confidence in what she stands for.
Correct.
But I think there should be balance in how you carry yourself too, in what you wear too. I think that's important so that you can filter some of what's around you and you can know that people aren't just lusting after you. You know, they're not just drooling, look at her, she fine. You know, what's in my mind? Are you even trying to get to know me? You know,
That's
so
true.
even when I was a model, like I wouldn't even let people holler at me after a show. I'd be looking at them like, you just saw me in a bikini. I don't want to holler at you.
So
like,
your mind is just thinking on that right there from what you just seen. That makes
so
sense.
you know, but it depends on what you're looking for. If you want to be if you're superficial, that's what you're gonna get.
Correct.
You know, if you focus on only the surface, that's the only thing people are going to focus on with you. And that might work for you, it just doesn't work for me personally.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to take a break real quick. We got to pay some bills and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. If you missed the beginning, you can always start at the beginning, you know, however, whatever. And we're here, basic of perseverance with the Queen Ayize. So, you know, we had a good first part. That was awesome. So let's go ahead and scoot on to the second part of this segment. Let's talk about living in your past. Too often people like to live in their past. I'm not saying like actually forget what happened, but don't keep bringing it forward because if you keep living in your past, you can't move forward. Like there's no forward movement. So speak to me on that from your perspective.
So the key to moving forward and not living in the past, you gotta deal with the stuff in your past that might pull you back there.
Right.
I definitely know about that. You might need to go to therapy. I have a therapist. I go to my therapist whenever I feel I need to. There was a time when I was going to him a lot more often than I am now because I needed to deal with stuff that I hadn't been dealing with. And it's good to have a therapist. A lot of people, I don't know what it is, their ego that's making them say, oh, I don't want to talk to nobody. You need a neutral party that doesn't know anything about any of the people
exactly.
They can give you an objective, you know, answer or some cues and clues so that you can move forward. Because like you said, like if you're driving in the car and you steady looking in the rearview mirror, well, what about everything in front of you? How you gonna drive like that? It's the same thing with your life. Now, there are a lot of things, you know, there can be trauma, there can be pains, and sometimes we like to just move forward and not deal with things because we don't want to feel it. I'm definitely one of those people. But what I learned is if you keep brushing stuff under the rug, at some point, you know, somebody gonna
It's going.
and that
Yes.
freaking dust and all that stuff you've been trying to hide and keep over here, it's gonna go everywhere, or it's just gonna show up when you least expect it. You're gonna have one too many drinks one night, you're gonna go slap off about you don't know what. People gonna be like, oh, what's wrong with her? She got issues.
Yeah.
And you're not even gonna know why you did that. You gotta
Yeah.
deal with your stuff. You gotta deal with it. If you're doing stuff that's wrong, you might have to go back and ask for forgiveness, and you might have to accept that whomever may or may not give you that what you need. They might not say, you know what, I accept your apology. But I think if you apologize, it'll give you the closure that you need. A lot of things that happened in our past, whether there were family members or otherwise, you gotta come to your personal place of closure so that you can move forward. So that when you get triggered, because that's what that means, when you get triggered, something happens in the future that brings up something from back then. You'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, it hurt. That remind me of this, you know. So you have to know what things trigger you, and you have to have things in place to help you deal with them. So you're just not out here willy-nilly snapping on people and then trying to say sorry later, or you know, a person that holds everything inside who doesn't know how to communicate, or you're in a relationship with someone and they're trying to get closer to you and you shut down. There's lots of different ways that not dealing with past traumas and experiences show up in your future. And I am an advocate for therapy, period. Therapist, a life coach, also spiritual, religious, whatever your beliefs, some type of grounding, or a person that will keep you on a spiritual. You need all of it. You can't just rely on your friends. Your friends, they might not always tell you what you need to hear. Your friends aren't equipped to deal with your issues. That's not their job. They didn't go to school for that. Even if they did go to school for that.
Yeah. You still don't want
friends, and find a therapist that you trust, that you appreciate. Maybe they have a similar melanation as you. Maybe they're a Black person. Like my therapist was a man because some of my issues were with men, and I realized I need to figure out how to talk. I ain't really talking to men. Let me, you know, so that's why I chose, he's Black, a Black man. You know what I mean? So I'm big on therapy. I'm big on journaling. Journaling is a great place of therapy because you can always go back and read and look at like where you were. Be like, oh, I was tripping. You know what I mean? Whether it's 2, 3, I recommend I have journals from when I was in 6th grade. I was boy crazy and looking like, what girl? You know, because it helps you to see how far you've come.
Your progression.
Be more gentle with yourself. Like, wow, like I actually have accomplished a lot more than I realized. Nature. Not necessarily nature, that's me, but like the thing that you like, the thing that makes you smile. If going to the beach or just being out in nature is good for your soul, you have to find out what you actually like to do and do that. Like I like dance classes. I can go out, it don't matter, salsa, African dance, bowl class. I like to learn in that way and get my body movement. That's something I can do. I like to eat out. If I'm in a bad mood, I will take myself to dinner. You know, it'll make me feel good when I'm done. Even like self-care, go get your hands done, get a massage, get a pedicure. All that stuff will help you deal with stuff in the past because you're finding ways to like medicate your soul and your heart or your mind, whatever it was that was hurt by whomever. And then a lot of times you have to tell that person what they did, you know, even if you can't tell them face to face, you write it down, write it out. I don't care if it's 4, 5, 6 pages. After you write it out, maybe burn it. Maybe rip it up in little pieces and take it to the ocean and let it go. Well, don't litter. Sorry. Don't litter.
But it'll be ashes though. If you burn it, it'll be ashes.
If you burn it and put the ashes in the ocean, but if you
it'll be ashes.
The fish gonna be eating the paper. Sorry, y'all. I love the environment. But you just have to find ways to release. To get it out. If you hold it in, that's how you have stress, ulcer, there are
Yeah.
lots of diseases that manifest because of stress,
Mm-hmm.
so heart problems, heart
Yeah.
blockages,
Everything just happened with the health.
high blood
Metastasized.
pressure,
Yeah. Yeah.
all of that, especially
All
as
of that.
Black people, because we often don't get validated in our struggles or in our pain. Or it's like we tell us. But
Yes.
outside of us, when I'm saying us, I mean our community, we don't
Yes.
share it outside or whatever. So
Yes.
it's just something that we know about, like the Jump Out Boys, or you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that we know
Bunch of
doesn't happen.
cowards. That's what they are. A bunch of cowards.
Yes, but
That's
we know that
exactly
doesn't
what they
happen in
are.
other communities. So if
Of course not.
I done been jumped out on, and that will get to you. Your heart beating, you're like, whoo.
Of
You know,
course.
you can share that with Day Day and them because they understand, but you might can't share that with your coworkers so they can understand why you're stressed today. So as Black people, we all know we have different experiences, and we have to wear a mask, or just decide if and when and how we gonna speak up.
Yeah.
And and we got a code switch too, and that's okay. But you gotta get out those things that are getting to you so that they don't bog you down or hold you back from where you could go as far as forward, because you're so busy stuck on this happened to me and that happened to me, and I was abused, so I'll never have somebody good, or my parents didn't love me, so I'll never, you know what I mean? Like, you can't bring that stuff, because it's back here, and there was a lesson in it, whatever it was. Doesn't make it okay. And forgiveness doesn't mean that you're saying what happened to you was okay. The forgiveness is for you. And that was one of those lessons that for me was a long time. And I still got two people that I can't forgive. I just can't. Still fight on sight. But for the rest of it, I'm there, So just be honest with yourself about where you are. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna point out. So my people that look like me, my melanated people, my Black people, there is nothing wrong with having a therapist. Okay?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having a therapist. This is my second guest. My second guest that has a therapist. There's nothing wrong with it. It's totally fine. Another key thing she said is forgiveness. Forgiveness lifts a heavy load off of you. Now, I know you said you're still working on it, or maybe some people you cannot forgive. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Some traumas are deeper than others, and I feel like I have forgiven in my head, but I don't know how I would act if I walked out my door and saw that person.
Okay, so
I know I would not be able to just not say nothing.
Okay, so pretty much you've forgiven them in your mind, but not totally, as in fully forgiven them.
Basically, I don't know how I'll react if I'm triggered. If I'm triggered by them.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure how much. I mean, maybe I'll surprise myself.
Yeah.
The life hasn't tested me on that yet, and I don't want to test anytime soon.
Well,
but I will say this about forgiveness. Because when you don't forgive a person, you're letting them live like rent free in your head. Like, you walking around, you mad at them, you can't stand them. Every chance you get, you talking about them. You telling this person, that person, and you're holding on to that. You're perpetuating that. You're keeping that trauma or whatever, that pain alive, because you're still holding on to that. And that person, guess what? They ain't thinking about you.
They living their life.
Look, they don't care that you still hurt by whatever it was that they did. They're not even thinking about you. So who is being hurt still by the pain? It's you, because you can't let it go. So that's why the forgiveness is for you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the people that hurt you, even the person I'm talking to right now, she ain't thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? At all. Like, this is just trauma. I'm talking about college trauma at least 10 years ago. But I'm still mad. I'm still holding on to it. I still have to work on that. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. We all have our stuff. But to me, like, it's just certain things that's just unacceptable.
Yes.
Unacceptable, period. And for me, I'm just trying to work on it. I'm just trying to work on it, you know, but I've definitely come a very long way from then. Definitely.
Cool.
And I'm continuing to move forward, and I'm hoping that, you know, other people, I can get some people to join with me on the
You're
forgiveness.
growing. It's growth.
Yes.
It's a process. Nothing doesn't change overnight. So it's a process. Some things take longer than other. That's very understandable. And I think it's like that. A lot of people may have that same scenario where a lot of things take a little longer to get through than others. The process.
But time heals all. Like,
yes.
I'm a person that always struggle with being patient and just to be quiet, just allowing things. Just not, you know, I be stressing. I'm high energy. I like things to go my way. I'm a planner, so I got a plan A through Z, 1 through 5, and then little A through little Z. Like, I got plans. But at the end of the day, what my dad says all the time is man plans and God plans.
Yep.
You over here planning this, and God
he got something else. Yep.
So
don't work out.
How does that work? So you have to have a level of where you're able to relinquish things. You know, and just relax and let time handle stuff. Sometimes you just gotta chill. It's not gonna fix itself right now. You can't try to control everything because you break things if you squeeze too tight, you know. Yes. It just depends, and it's definitely harder when it comes to family, when it comes to, you know, certain traumas. I'm not saying that it's easy, but you just got to try. And if you need to compartmentalize a person in the no zone, put them in no for now. Protect your energy. If you can't talk to this person right now because they make you feel like you got to snap, then don't talk to them. You have to honor yourself too now, even if it is a family member. Me and my family, we get along for the most part. Even when we have our little stuff, it's subtle stuff. It's not big scandalous stuff. So I sometimes can't relate when people have traumas from aunties and grandmas and uncles and stuff, brothers, sisters, because we're very honest and open in our family. But I know that's where generational trauma can come in, and when you don't deal with stuff and then you cut a person completely off, then you move on. And then when your kids asking you, well, what about grandma? Well, tell me about grandma. Then you can't, you know what I mean? Then you've cut like the family tree, you know? So not saying that everybody deserves to be in your life, but certain capacities are okay. And you just have to set those boundaries so that you're respecting yourself, but you're also not depriving maybe a child of their chance to have a relationship with a person because you didn't have a good relationship with that person.
Yeah. That's,
you know,
that makes sense. That's true though. That's really true.
And you see it with like people who have kids and the mom holds the kids from the dad because the dad is deadbeat or whatever. But then as the kid gets older, they got resentment towards their father. And then the father's like, I was trying, but I cheated on your mama, but that don't mean, you know, that I didn't love you or whatever. But the mom forgive the dad. So then she instills that in you as a child not to be able to forgive the father. So then you go into a relationship where as soon as your man messes up, you kick him to the curb and you don't let him see the kids. And then it becomes a generational
pattern.
Yeah, I'm just throwing out scenarios.
An example. Yeah.
I'm not talking about nobody specific, but I'm just using it as
in
an
general.
Example. Mm-hmm.
In general, when it happens like that,
because it's not fair. And if the mom is mad because she's not still receiving the love, that should not stop the child from having a relationship with the father. Even if he can't provide in the way that the mom does, he still deserves to have a relationship with his child. You know, and then I'm saying that loosely. I know it's all type of don't get me in the comments. It's all type of scenarios. I'm just saying it loosely, you know, for the mental, because every child needs both parents. If the parent is alive and on earth, they should be able to have a relationship with them. And it shouldn't take 20 years later when they finally, you know, that's not fair.
Yeah, I know. I know how that goes.
You're getting triggered over there. You're triggered.
Oh, it's not even a trigger. You know, with that scenario, I come to accept, you know, in the aspects of I'm not the type, like if I try and attempt, I'm not finna chase behind you or whatever. And then vice versa, you're saying that you're doing this, that, and the third. You're the adult. You know, you come at a time when I'm an adult, so my mindset is totally different than when I was younger in college. Like I've been on a different mindset, like an old soul. So the way I think when I was younger is just elevated. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I can only talk to certain people. So when you talk about that scenario, it's interesting because the father, even if when the mother gives you that window to, go to that child, we're talking on the same scenario that you give, even if the mother give them that open window to get to know their child, the father has to indeed wants to do and should not allow anybody to prevent them, because I know that there are some women that give that window to that father, and that father allow their new mate to have something to interfere and do that. So it can go various ways. So with that scenario, it can go various ways.
That's why I was like, don't give me the comments.
Yeah, no.
A lot of different stuff.
People
scenarios.
Understand. Yeah, cause I know it's a lot of people out there that has the same scenario and they could speak upon it, And
but that's the thing. Then you carry that childhood trauma into your adulthood, and you don't even realize it. That's you. All I'm saying. Because my father and I would consider us to be very close. It's just like me and my mom, but with me and my dad, we spent a long time not talking, and there was a lot of time where I felt like, oh, he should be reaching out to me or whatever. But it really came back together when we reached for each other. Yeah. And we met in the middle, and for us, we were able to have a conversation about everything, to put everything on the table, and acknowledgments happened on both sides so that we could move forward. And I know that's not everybody, that's not necessarily going to work for everybody. But that is where therapy comes in, because you can get a therapist and have a group, and it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to fix itself in one time. But if you try, it'll
grow. It'll work.
It will grow over time. Exactly. Even if you say, you know what, I don't want to really have a relationship with you, but I will call you every Christmas. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Just something small like that, so that you can speak to the kids or whatever. Yes. I'm just throwing out scenarios. Yeah. And because as a people, our families have been fractured. We've been taught to nitpick and pull each other apart, and to hate on each other, like almost subconsciously. And to not necessarily support, or to feel like, oh, why they charging so much or whatever, but you'll go over here and pay, Paul and Susan the same money, and you won't question why they charging so much, So as a people, we have a lot of, stuff that we got to break, and it starts with the family. It starts with the family. It starts with the mom and dad and the kids. You know what I'm saying? And some of it is generational, like you were talking about. Sometimes the mom gives the dad the opening, and then the dad don't take the opening. Mm-hmm. Some people can't love you the way you need to be loved, period. Correct. No matter how much they might want to. Some people, like, if you look at it on the hierarchy of like elementary, middle school, high school, college, regardless of age, some people are on a college level. Yes. Some people are always going to be at 6th grade level. So you can't expect them to give you college level love, respect, intelligence, conversation. You can't expect that from them. No matter if they're your elder and you want that from them. If you're here and they're here, they can't give you what you need. So at some point you have to say, all right, I'm not going to get what I need from this person in this way. However, I got mentors. I have other elders in my church. Like you can actually have other people that you talk to that fulfill that role, the fatherly role, the motherly role, the sisterly role, the brotherly role, that aren't your blood. Yes. It could be like my mama. She has what she calls her community daughters. There are a lot of young ladies that will go, they be at my mama. She texts me, oh, so-and-so's here. And I'll be like, they ain't even, but that's because they have their own mother relationship with my mom. Yeah. And we all need that because I have a good relationship with my mom doesn't mean everybody else did. Well, should I be selfish and be like, don't be hollering at my mama, don't be trying to learn that from my mama? Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
no, because I know if my mom sees something you do where she has this relationship with you, and she does, and she calls them her community daughters. And one thing that she said, she was doing a interview like this, and a lot of people look at the kids and say, "Oh, those aren't my kids. Them ain't my kids."
Mhm.
Yes, they are. They're all your children. It still takes a village.
Yes.
But these newfangled children now, you gotta come at them the right way so that they'll receive you, because a lot has changed in time. But if they see that you care about them, they'll come at you different. And at the end of the day, they're still a child. And whatever they're giving you is a reflection on what they're getting at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I had the little children out here, they killed a baby duck. It hurt my heart. But I went out there and talked to them, and I was like, you guys, that's not okay. What if that was you? What if that was your little brother or little sister? You know what I mean? And tried to like empathize with them. And I was hurt. Like, I was like, oh my God, they killed an animal. It's so evil. But they were just, because nobody's instilling them respect the environment, respect nature.
Yeah.
We all have to coexist and stuff like that. So you just never know. But those same kids, yesterday I took out a word search and some crayons and markers and put them on a little thing and told them, y'all can have it. Yeah. And they'll remember that. I'm gonna move, but they'll be like, oh, I remember that one lady. She was nice to me. One of the kids cut his knee. I was like, oh, you don't got no Band-Aid? Came in the house, got Band-Aids, gave him a little ointment on a Q-tip and was like, wash it, put this on there. But I was feeling some type of way, like, why didn't the kid just go in the house and his mama put the Band-Aid on it?
Yeah.
Either she's not there, either he knows she's not going to help, because they came to me to ask for the Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Either they don't have no Band-Aids in their house, but that's not for me. When the kids reach for you, you reach back.
Yeah.
When the elders reach, when you see an elder that needs help in a grocery store, they can't reach, help them. Yeah. Help them, period. Even if it's just for the good karma to come back to you. So anyway, child, I'm on my love.
Yeah, I know what that's why I'm letting you go. So let me ask you this. What is something you wish somebody had told you at 20? What is something you would tell your 20-year-old self that you wish somebody had told you that you know now?
I had to think about what I was doing when I was 20. Where was I at? I think I wish somebody would have told me that it's okay to be myself, that I don't have to try to fit in to be like the others. I wish somebody had told me to be more selfish, to really put myself first and like embrace what that really means. Because at that time I was a people pleaser. Like I was friendly with everybody. I was friendly with a lot of people that I shouldn't have been friends with, and I learned that the hard way just a few years later, just a few years after. This may be a little weird, but I wish someone had told my 20-year-old self to like explore my own self more, so I could know what touch I like, like that in that level. Because I think when you're young, you be out here wilding and you don't realize what real intimacy is until you get older. And then you're like, dang, I was wilding. That wasn't even serving me. It wasn't best for me.
Yes.
And I wish my 20-year-old self, like, stop trying to be everybody's friend, because everybody's not your friend. Like, I was just, like you said, seeing the good in everybody and helping people, giving people my last who wouldn't give me their last. And then when I needed help, feeling like, oh, what about these people I was helping? That type of stuff.
Yeah.
This was like, I was in college. I was away from home. So that's what I'm thinking about. Like, it was a lot that I didn't know, and I was just out there trying to learn, and I learned a lot the hard way, the hard way.
Okay.
I wish somebody had told my 20-year-old self to go to class, go to class, because the student loans, if you're gonna be paying for them, you at least need something to show for it.
Exactly.
Get up, go to class, pass that math, don't change your major, go back and take the college algebra. Stop changing your major to avoid math class. You wasting money.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I'm being
wow.
personal now, but
No, I
no.
listen, you never know. Somebody this may stick in somebody's head. You never know who it's gonna reach. So I feel you. I was never in class in high school. I do my work and I was gone.
See, that was the thing in high school. I never had any real challenges in elementary school, middle school, high school. It wasn't hard for me to get good grades. I was always involved. I was in activities, and then I got to college, especially UCF. They claim to stand for you can't finish.
Yeah.
UCF was hard. Like, it wasn't even just come easy to me. I just come to class, listen to lecture, take the test, get 100. Like, I had to actually study and teach myself, and I wasn't mature. Like, I was not
discipline.
I was trying to find the easy way out and stuff. Plus, you young, you in a new city, you away from your family, so it's a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, like, I definitely wish that I had to like been more like, I should have been a film major instead of a nursing major, because that's what I was actually into. But nursing was like more money, so I started out not being true to myself, and then I was struggling trying to it was college algebra, to be honest, and I'm really bad with numbers. I'm a little bit dyslexic, so that definitely has it. But I also came into a lot of money, as far as like I had a lot of grants and student loans, and we was at Red Lobster 2 or 3, 4 times a week. We was going to Atlanta, Burlington Coat Factory, buying new outfits. Like, I wish I had been more money minded, maybe bought some stock back then. Maybe like tried to learn how to save, because I hadn't learned saving yet then.
Yeah.
It's more financial stuff, because now at 35, I'm looking back like, damn, what I had when I was 20, boy. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But I still don't regret anything. Don't get me wrong. I don't regret none of it, because it brought me to where I am today. And that's the thing. Like, all the steps and missteps that we took in our past, that was supposed to happen. Nothing that was for you will pass you by. Nothing that has passed you by is for you.
Okay.
Say it again. Nothing that is for you will pass you by. Nothing that has passed you by was for you. So if you were supposed to get this job, no, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. Because you would have got it. Oh, I was supposed to. That was my man. No.
Because he would have been with you.
Yeah. So that's the thing too. Like, don't hold on to stuff for, and maybe it's for you, just not right now. Maybe you're not ready right now. Maybe
timing.
Yeah. So that's one thing that how I am now. Like, and I used to be angry and all type of stuff, just going through a lot of stuff. And I'm sure we all can say that about our youth. And I'm still young, but you definitely have to just try to make sure that you have good people around you that can really tell you about yourself in a loving and constructive way.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the key. Your circle, your safety net.
Yeah. That support.
Like, for real.
That is an important factor to have in your life. A stable, balanced support base that's all about your well-being, and you guys uplift, motivate, and encourage each other as well. So
look at who just left office. His circle cannot tell him nothing.
Yeah.
Mr. Orange, the people around him, the people that are hired to check him and let him know, like, bro, don't do this, don't tweet that, don't say that. None of them had a voice. Absolutely none of them.
Yeah.
None of them.
He did what he wanted to do.
Yeah. And you can look at other celebrities that you could tell, like, Lord, they don't got no sounding board. Or they used to have a sounding board, then they lost a person, and now they just in a sunken place. They just sunken. Just, clean.
You gotta be that mind. You gotta be that mind that'll listen too. You gotta be willing to listen and accept
and receive
feedback. Yeah, and receive. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's hard, because your ego will block you from hearing the stuff that you really need to hear, and have you mad at a person for telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Your ego will be like, no, we don't need that truth. No, we're fine over here. No, you
I've
ain't.
seen those type. I dealt with those type of
Yeah, child.
individuals. So so I know it. I'd be like, I don't care how you feel, but da 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 da.
Or
Like,
just the person that you won't even tell them. You don't even say it to them because you know they ain't gonna receive it, and you
you know how
protecting
they
your
act.
energy because you're like, I ain't even gonna tell her.
Cause it went way left. Yep.
You don't want to be that person that other people say, don't say nothing to her.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that person that's out here wilding and people like, did you see so-and-so acting up?
Yeah.
Because nobody can tell them about themselves. I've been that person. I'm glad I'm not that person anymore, but yeah.
That's a good thing. It's an experience. You learn. You live and you learn.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got 2, maybe 3 more things that I want to touch on. Comfort zone. Too often people sleep in their comfort zone, but they fail to realize that when you sit there and hibernate in your comfort zone, there's no growth, there's no movement, there's no change. If you're still doing the same stuff you were doing last year, this year, you're in your comfort zone and there's no growth. And that's crazy. Doing the same thing over and nothing has changed is insanity. Talk to me about comfort zone. Have you been in your comfort zone sleeping? I know at some point some people have, all of us have been in our comfort zone, but some of us faster than others like to move. We like the constant evolving, the constant transitioning, the constant growth. Talk to me a little bit, about that from your perspective. Use an example, if you may, in regards to you sitting in your comfort zone and how you got out of that comfort zone, got on yourself to move and get up and keep pushing forward.
I've definitely been in the comfort zone. The biggest example that stuck in my mind was a relationship that I was in for like over 10 years. That it never was what I needed it to be, but for whatever reason, I was still holding on to it. I would leave them, date somebody else, come back, leave them, come back. But it was a comfort place for me. It was a comfort place, and so I always went back to there. There's no growth when you're comfortable, period.
Yes.
None whatsoever. If you want to grow, you have to become a little uncomfortable. And that goes to the same thing like when we talk about therapy, that's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to talk about stuff you don't want to. But if you continue to do the same things, you will not get different results. So if you want different results in your life, you got to change and come out of your comfort zone. Now,
yes.
It's interesting because I have friends that I feel like are in their comfort zone and that works for them and that's where they are. And then I have friends that aren't in their comfort zone and they're stuck constantly pushing to grow and do more.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between leaders and followers.
Yes.
That's the difference between rich folks and poor folks. You know what I mean? That's the difference between, the president and whatever's at the bottom of that hierarchy. Yeah. Because, you have to come out of your comfort zone so that you can grow. I did that in so many different areas of my life. I think maybe when I started African dance, West African dance, that was like, I remember like totally sucking at it. But it was the person I was dating. I kind of was like, wanted to be better. And I'm very glad that I tried and pushed myself to become a better dancer because I met more people. It just opened up the world like of arts and culture just opened up for me. But if I had, because I used to give up. I used to go to class and I remember they had these guys from the Ivory Coast and they came in doing backflips and stuff. And I just went and sat down. I was like, yeah, I don't know what they're about to do, but I can't do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if you cut yourself off at the feet every time and you don't try, or imagine if when you're a baby and you're trying to walk and you the first time you fell, you just sat down and said, well, I ain't trying that no more.
Yeah, you wouldn't be walking.
Yeah, like as a child, kids aren't afraid of discomfort, but then at some point, I don't know what happens in life where we don't want to try stuff if it don't come easy to us.
Mhm.
And that you're doing yourself a disservice because there's always something new you can learn. And look at the people who, like the elders that learned the internet, that learned the Zoom, that learned the text messaging, are doing a lot
Exactly.
better than the elders that don't know how to use nothing, don't know how to do nothing. They're stuck. So you don't want to make yourself stuck by staying comfortable. I mean, it's great to want to be comfortable, but I feel like it just depends on what type of life you want to have. Like, I'm
Mhm.
a go getter, I'm a leader, but some people, that's just not who they are. They rather
Yeah.
follow, and they will follow. And that's what you look at their life, it's safe. And those are the people, and I'm just making a generalization, but I was gonna say
Yeah.
those are the people that on their deathbed when they're old, they say they wish they had have lived more. They
Yeah.
wish they had have did this. They wish they had have done this. They wish they had have not been a dentist because they really wanted to be a dancer, but their parents, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like though I feel like there's a freeness with people who are not afraid to come out of their comfort zone and they get
Yes.
more out of life.
Yeah.
They get more out of life. I feel like they get more respected and they have more unique experiences because they're willing to try. They're willing to
Correct.
just say, you know what, let me try it. You know,
Let's
you
go.
never know like what comes out of it.
Exactly. I'm like this. If you're uncomfortable, if you're not uncomfortable in any shape or form, if you don't walk into a location and you're not uncomfortable, there's a problem. Uncomfortable means there's some growth, there's some opportunity that's going to open, or you're going to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
With that uncomfortability, that it's always like that. Whether a door opportunity where you meet somebody, you never know, you may go somewhere and you may feel uncomfortable, but you may walk into a billionaire that may come up to you and be like, I heard about you, I've been watching you, da 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 da.
Yeah.
You just never know
Yeah.
what you do. And like you said, you never try. If a person never tried, then they're just cutting themselves off because they don't know where it may lead to. Like you said, if you would have stopped
Exactly.
doing African dance, there'd be no way you'll be doing what you were doing, getting booked for gigs, having people contact you,
Mm-hmm.
and you're open and exposed to a whole nother community of drumming circles. So it's
Yeah.
people got to be able to be willing to step out that comfort zone and just give
About
it a try. You just
step
never
out
know.
on faith and just
Yeah.
try something. You might be surprised. You might like it.
Mm-hmm.
You might be good at it, and it might change your life. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So to me, that's enough reasons to just try. And when you're trying, you have to remove the ego, edging God out, remove it,
Mm-hmm.
so
And
that
believe
God
in
can
yourself
enter.
too.
Huh?
And believe in yourself too.
Yes, and
Yeah.
allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to not be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about who's looking or whatever. Just do it and enjoy whatever it is. Whether it's a kayak, you've never been kayaking before, or you've never learned how to swim. Now you've grown. They have adult swim classes. Like, do
Yeah.
it. Like, you just try. Go ride that horse. Go, like, there's so many things that I've done that, like, one time I went to a rodeo with one of my coworkers. I had a wonderful time at that rodeo, and it was like 5 Black people in the whole thing, and they was riding horses, and I touched the cow for the first time. Like, I was like, oh my God, but I never would have went there by myself, and I haven't been there since. But it was a great experience, and it helped me to respect farm people and like that. There's a whole group
You
of
get a
people
different
that,
view. Yeah.
like, and that's the problem with America sometimes. Like, there's a lot of different kinds of people in this country, in the world. But if you only keep yourself, look at all these white supremacists and people from Iowa or whatever. I'm not picking on Iowa. I'm just throwing out a state. But they stay in a place where they're only surrounded by people that think like them. They don't travel to diverse areas. They don't try to step out and learn more things. And now they look crazy and realizing that no, you're not supreme, you're not the best, you're not the smartest, you're not the richest, you're not the nothingest. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, seriously. So, but it's like a lot of people who be stuck in their comfort zone thinking that there's always someone bigger, badder, better, smarter, more beautiful than you.
Mhm.
But you still should be able to be confident in who you are, to embrace that person and those things and see what it might bring to you in your life. You never know that what you've been doing for the past 30 years is not for you until you try this new thing and you say, oh my gosh,
Exactly.
and then your life just blooms. You know, look at the lady from Black Panther who decided she was gonna act at what, 90 or something.
Mm-hmm.
The elder, she decided at like 89 she was gonna be an actress, and she started in Black Panther at like 91. Now she's 92. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
come on. Like, what if she just never
it's
said,
never too late.
It's never too
Never
late
too late.
to find yourself. It's never too late to try something new. Like, just do it. Just
Yeah.
Nike that thing. Just do it.
I got you. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up with this last thing. I want you to listen to what I say, and then I want you to build upon that and give me your closing statement.
Okay.
You know, what we go through is always temporary. It's not permanent. And also what we go through and what we go through and what we're probably currently going through, we know that is not who we really are. But these situations and circumstances are making us into the person we need to become. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of like what I've been saying the whole time, to just kind of try to embrace, like, I know I come off real happy and real confident, and that's who I am now.
It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that.
Start there is what I'm trying to say. I didn't start there. Yes, I've had a lot of fun and fabulous experiences, but there were times in which I felt very, very insecure and inadequate in those spaces. You know, but just know that this too shall pass. Whatever it is that you're going through, that is the blessing of time. Yes. That is a blessing of time. That what's important right now, 9 times out of 10, is not going to be important 5 years from now, 1 year from now. So when you have your crisis in your life and you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Just know, like, this too shall pass. This is temporary, and try to figure out, what am I supposed to learn from this? What did I allow that brought me here? You know what I mean? What where was there a place where I should have spoke up more for myself, or I should have been more honest, and then I wouldn't have had this experience? You know, find the lesson in it and know that it's temporary. Know that it's temporary, and everything is, the night is dark before the dawn. Even like in science, like, to go high, you got to go low first. You know what I'm saying? There's nowhere, you know, from the bottom and step up.
Correct.
It's temporary. Surround yourself with positive people.
Mm-hmm.
Go places that make you feel good, whether, it's live music and you just poetry, nature, go bike ride, go dancing, go eat some food. You know what I mean? Find out what it is that makes you feel beautiful, you feel good, whether you're a male or female. You know, I know I'm using a lot of girly stuff, but what makes you feel the best? What makes you feel fulfilled? Find that. And look at your people. Look at your inner circle. Are they really like supporting and pushing you to what you really want? Are they really there for you? Are they really like calling you out and telling you, like, hey friend, you know, I love you, but I know this, da 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 da. And are you able to receive it? Or are they saying, you know what, you never asked me for help. I know you need some help. Stop trying to push me. I'm gonna help you. I'm helping you.
You need those people in your life.
And you have to be okay to ask for help. But you are responsible for your inner circle and the people. Like, you control that. You are the one driving the car of life, your life. You're driving it. If you don't like where you are, drive somewhere else. Yep. You're in control. You are. And there's a way out. There's always a way out. Even if you feel trapped, there's always a way out. There's always another day. It's temporary. And tell yourself that when life delivers you its blows, because it will. because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Because if we didn't have the human experience, we'd just be up there with God, just floating around, no action. You know what I'm saying? We just up there chilling with God. God said, "Oh, let me put you down here in this human form. Let's see what we can throw at you." You know what I'm saying? So just know that it's part of life. Trials, tribulations, ups, downs is part of life. Death, birth, it's part of life. Betrayals, all that stuff is part of life. But it's not gonna break you. It's how you deal with it.
That's
how
key.
you move forward. How are you gonna deal with it? Take your day to wallow in it. Take your day to be mad. But don't stay there. Don't live there. Because it's temporary. And it might be setting you up for something 10 times better if you would just let go of the thing that you just think you need so much, so bad. It's temporary. All of it is temporary. The hurt, the pain. Think about it. Have you ever broken a bone or scraped yourself or burned yourself? It hurt, right? But then there's a day when it stops hurting.
Yes.
There's a day when it stops. It might take 2 days for one person, like a surgery. I had knee surgery. It might take you 6 months to walk. You know what I mean? A year, but it's gonna get better. Even with a plant, you plant a seed, and you might see this much growing up here, but you don't see all this going down here. It doesn't mean that it's not growing. That's like you as a person. And sometimes the plant is growing, but you just didn't notice the little leaf over here. You didn't notice the little bud over there because you just looking at it like, oh, it ain't growing. I'm killing it. No, you are growing as a person in life. Like, give yourself credit. Go back and read that journal from last year and see where you was at. Give yourself credit. Write down if a whole bunch of stuff is going bad, write down what's going good. Write it down. Put it somewhere where you can see it. Right on your mirror. I am worthy. I am enough. You know, you have to do those things to help you. It's nobody else's responsibility except yours. And if you need help, you need to make sure you have the right circle around you. And that's up to you. If you need to get rid of some people, you need to get rid of them. You don't have to tell them. Just let them fade out. Let them fade into the darkness. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to confront everything. Just make a mental note and move different. It's okay. Put yourself first.
All right. Okay. That concludes our segment for today. Man, oh man, she did a amazing closing. She just gave a whole little sermon right now.
Child, I be talking too much. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate
she spoke some facts. See, that's the thing about my guests. They're gonna speak facts, and I'm gonna let them flow. Let them go.
And let it flow. That's what my name means. Ayize.
Let it flow. Ayize.
Let it flow.
Hanif. I got it this time.
Girl,
yeah, Hanif. I got it this time.
You're gonna put the government out there. Get it right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Well, that concludes our segment for the day. Thank you, Ayize, for being a part of this segment. This is A Peace of Mind signing out, the basis of perseverance, where their story may be your story, and how you handle your situations and circumstances is key. Until next time, peace and blessings.